One Up Live, a Club Nokia is brought to you by the Nokia Astound.
All right, it is time to talk about Game of the Show. So I am joined by Scooter, Tal from IGN, if you don't know him, and Sam as well. And we're just going to go through our nominees and then reveal the winner at the end of this little thing. So let's start off. We got Tomb Raider on the list, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorites of the show. I mean, you know, this was like the real proper kind of reboot for Tomb Raider, the one we've been waiting for you know, a long time, and it's actually been promised several times in the past too. But you know, I think this is the real deal.
That has been the pitch for like 8 games.
Yeah,
right
I know.
now.
But really, I mean, you look at it, and I think it really is the one that we've been waiting for. I mean, it obviously kind of takes things back a bit. I mean, this is a much younger Laura. I think she's what, 21 in this one?
Yeah, 21, 22, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I know.
She's hot.
Yeah, I know.
The graphics are good. She's hot.
That's right.
It's the hottest Laura I've seen.
But you know, it's funny because like, so Crystal Dynamics is doing this, and you know, I remember talking to them a few years back, you know, and they were just such big fans of Uncharted and seeing like what's been going, you know, what Sony's been able to do with that, and you know, I think they've, you know, really wanted to try to set out to do a game that could even kind of maybe best Uncharted.
Well, I mean, that's a big surprise to me. Like, if I was making this list, I probably would have put Uncharted instead of Tomb Raider. But as a staff, we went Tomb Raider, and that's kind of like, that's pretty notable.
Well, what I liked about this, I mean, I think you know, I mean, you didn't get to see it all in the kind of the trailers or what they showed, but what we saw kind of in you know, behind closed doors for it is you actually got a sense of like a real good sense of emotion from Laura, and I thought, you know, that was really, really well done. I mean, I hate to say this, but I think it's like the first game that really I've seen where, you know, I actually felt real emotion from a character.
Yeah, and well, it was emotion from me when she got that spike through
the
stomach too.
So it's just
that
really
actually hurt me.
Yeah, I know. So it's really well
good
done.
Presentation and just kind of production values, like when she's like in the water and it feels really claustrophobic as she's trying to get the air, and then when she's crawling out of the cave and like the lighting kind of dims as you get.
Yeah, they've done a great job of creating tension, right?
Yeah. So one of the things we've been talking about is how, you know, it's kind of a little too early to see like how great of an action game it's going to be. You know, I mean, Tal and I were kind of discussing how it seemed a lot of you know, the sequences were a little bit kind of, if you knew what to do, it felt right, but you know, it just felt like, you know, maybe it wasn't holding your hand well enough, or giving you the proper visual
holding your hand
cues.
a little too much.
Oh yeah, and not giving you maybe the cues that you would naturally figure things out. So we kind of have to see how the gameplay turns out. You know, probably, you know, next year's
they have some time, right?
Yeah.
It's like a fall 2012.
But in terms of, you know, getting an idea of like, you know, the potential with this game, you know, it definitely was one of my favorites of the show.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, we got Skyrim.
Skyrim. So I actually just saw the demo for Skyrim. So to me, you know, it playing Oblivion and finishing Oblivion and putting about 150, 160 hours into Oblivion. I'm looking to go back into for another 150. I have to say, seeing those huge dragons fly down, you know, breathing fire, were just amazing. And I actually thought, and it's something that you don't talk a whole lot about with games because it's, you know, you focus on the gameplay, but the menu system was really cool. Like, I loved it when they went to the skill tree and it's like
you look up at the stars.
You look up at the stars. It's astrological, and all the skill trees are actually parts of the constellations, right?
So when you fill out like a skill tree, like when you develop your sword skill, you're basically making like a constellation of like a dude and wielding a sword kind of thing. Yeah, that's like a real interesting thing because Todd was Howard, the project director, was talking about how he just was inspired by like looking up at the sky and like seeing cool shit, and that's like a better way to use skills than like, hey, here's a name and a number next to it.
Right.
It just, I mean, to me though, it just looks like it's such an immersive world. I mean, you basically are just walking in the countryside in these big snowy mountains, and it's like taking a hike in Yellowstone or something like that, right? But then there's dragons and mammoths thrown in. So,
nice. Yeah. All right, we got a Battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one everybody's been talking about at E3.
It's been the buzz of the show, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm guessing this is the game that's the most expensive game from a third party, at least, just as far as the money they've thrown at it. Because, I mean, I think they realize they're going to spend more in marketing anyway, so they might as well just throw a lot of that at making a competitor.
They also have the sound of the show. Whoa. Whoa.
Right.
I think it's interesting also that they're like intentionally picking the fight with Activision because they're they're the underdog. They want to be seen as like a parody thing, and even though they probably still won't sell as many, they've got, you know, this whole little bickering going on that is kind of interesting from a marketing perspective. Like any interview that Riccatello gives, he's going out of his way to mention like, you know, this is the battle, they're all coming together.
Well, you can play multiplayer for free, and all the references in the EA, no subscriptions.
But it is interesting to see like Modern Warfare going even more in that direction of kind of like, you know, just explosions, Michael Bay kind of sequences and all that.
More cinematic, whereas Battlefield is like more visceral, right? Like
exactly.
you're in the action.
It's interesting, like, they, you know, Modern Warfare is obviously going for more Michael Bay, and the Battlefield guys are saying they're going more for Generation Kill, like kind of really really in your face like marine like combat.
So we saw that really cool at the press conference. We saw the really cool tank level, right? That almost to me too, an allusion back to Battlezone when they went to the night vision and everything was in green. Almost felt like I was in the arcade again. But all that was like really amazing sequences, beautiful graphics. But on the show floor, I was able to play some multiplayer with Battlefield 3, and I've been playing Battlefield since Battlefield 1942 came out. And I have to say, playing, it was a capture points. And playing the game, and it to me it felt like a finished product.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really smooth. It was really tight. We were playing. I think it was 8 on 8. Maybe it was even more. But everything worked really well, even at this stage. So I was really impressed with what I saw.
That's cool.
We also heard from a rumor going around that apparently Bobby Kotick tried to get in to see it, and EA turned him away.
Oh yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, it's a little catty there. All right, what do we got next? Batman.
Batman Arkham City. That's probably the best example of giving more what you kind of wanted. Like Batman Arkham City is probably one of the best superhero games in like the last like 5 or 10 years, and this is like just more of it, but like kind of more refined. Like the combat, which is already pretty damn great. You can actually you could use the gadgets more. You could be kind of make Batman look more badass as he's fighting guys. It's now open world structure, so when you have like an objective, it's actually kind of cool. You can just go do all this random stuff on the side.
And the new double takedowns are really cool. A lot of new animations. The cape animation to me, I'm just looking at the cape and it looks like so good.
Yeah, like I said, because I guess they didn't want to do they didn't want a driving game in the middle, so there's no Batmobile. So like you basically just kind of glide around, you basically fly around the city in like a really cool way. And I like the more in-depth Riddler traps where they actually have to use all your gadgets in interesting ways to go. And you're basically playing it's like a Batman version of a Saw movie where there's like a person being suspended with like razor blades and acid, and Batman has to like figure out how the hell to get them out of there with all his gadgets and things like that. And there's also playable Catwoman, which is kind of interesting where it's it's really weird. Like at least the way they do it in the demo is like Batman like sits down and he basically flies off, and you then Catwoman then jumps on screen and you just jump around as her, and you throw like your weird bolo things that you climb on walls and things like that and rob people.
Yeah. And then our final nominee is Bioshock Infinite, which was my choice. I love that game. It's got. I guess the big thing is that it feels like you're in a living world. Like Bioshock, the first Bioshock was very much you're coming in after the fact. You're seeing what used to be there, and there's still enemies and stuff. But now you go in and you like hear people yelling your name. You see like this girl that you're kind of cooperating with the whole time, or at least most of the time, as far as we know. And you feel the emotion. You feel like the story. You could tell that they're pushing the creativity and the emotion and just trying to they're reaching for something that the other guys aren't.
Well, nobody tells a story like Irrational, right?
Yeah.
Those guys are some of the best storytellers making video games today. Yeah. So you again, kind of like Tomb Raider, you feel emotions for these characters. I love the art style too, even though it's a little more. The
visual design is incredible.
It's cartoony. But I like that. It is very stylistic. And
the main weird villain thing is basically a giant walking version of the actual Maltese Falcon, which is really weird but kind of cool. You don't really see that in other games, and as much as like so many other shooters out there, this one is like looks the most imaginative of all the weird stuff.
It kind of reminded me of Shadow of the Colossus too, right? Like some of those boss designs, right? When the bird like turns around and it's this big massive giant. But I literally walked out of that demo after seeing it and said, turned over to the people I was with and said, what the hell did I just see?
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, me too.
Like crazy.
See, I figured it would either impress me on the tech or it would impress me on the story, but to have both of those in the same demo, I think was the surprise.
Yeah.
Well, and the reality tears, like the alternate dimension stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
They had kind of made allusions to that in the earlier demos where you see kind of like some things kind of sparkling, and you're like, what's going on over there? But here, she totally opens up this vortex, and you're in the modern world. Revenge of the Jedi is playing in the theater. Yeah, alternate 83. It was just it was crazy to go from that really colorful floating world to all of a sudden to kind of our modern world. Our 1983 modern world, I should say.
All right, so I didn't tell you guys we're doing this, but let's give personal picks, and then we'll reveal who the staff winner was.
I'm actually also really, really into Uncharted 3. Like when I saw the big set pieces, they show both like the cruise ship level and a cargo plane level where you're dangling off like a plane that has all this shit spilling out of it. And Naughty Dog was just saying like they're really into lots of moving things around, and you have to deal with that stuff.
Is that your number one, Uncharted?
Uncharted was my number 2 besides what we're going to reveal the winner to.
Well, no, give your personal winner though.
Oh, Bioshock Infinite.
All right.
Bioshock Infinite. I have to agree. Again, I walked out of that demo going, this is moving beyond games to me.
Yeah.
I was just, my mind was blown at the demo that I saw.
Yeah, I was the same way with Bioshock Infinite. I mean, that's my choice too. I mean, it just felt to me, I mean, it's something, you know, when you go to like, say, a movie, you see like a Pixar movie, there's just such quality there. And it's just like, it's great across the board, the storytelling, the art, just everything's so good. And I felt that from this game too. It just was like light years beyond anything else you'd see at the show. And you know, even just, you know, especially when you're on the sky tracks and you're just flying around and stuff like that. And it's like you're on a roller coaster, but there's like never any slowdown or anything like that. It's just so perfect. So yeah, Bioshock for me too.
And I already said that was my pick too. I mean, I think part of it is just it's 5 years in development.
Yeah.
Like most games that are 5 years in development have some trouble, and it might have, we don't know, but it feels like they actually put that time to good use. Whereas a lot of these games, you know, like Alan Wake, it feels like it just kind of had some trouble along the way.
Right.
And then
it doesn't feel like they totally had to change course, like Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, exactly.
They had a vision, and they've stayed really true to that
they
vision.
said they did something else for like the first 6 months, but then since then, I think it's been pretty much this.
Right.
But,
so I mean, I guess it's
kind of obvious.
Like there's a common theme
Skyrim?
here. Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Will Tuttle.
Yeah, I know.
I do have to say though, like the theme of the show is fewer titles, but the quality was really high.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, Bioshock Infinite taking this is like a real testament to
Exactly.
there was such a great field of games out there this year too.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, that's a testament to those guys at Irrational. They're doing a great job with it.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess there you have it. Bioshock Infinite is the game of the show.
Display fancy graphics of the game.